The Tobii Eye Tracker 5 has been one of the most useful PC peripherals I've bought since I started PC gaming back in 2015. While I'm going to show you how it can boost your gameplay and immersion in Star Citizen, I'm also going to highlight how much it's improved my day-to-day PC use for both work and play. With biometric security becoming more common and security standards getting stricter, this device has actually turned out to be one of my best tech purchases. And yes, I did buy it myself. This video is sponsored by Tobii, but only because I enjoyed my own purchase before we started partnering a few years ago, which resulted in me nagging them to let me do a review. Today I'm going to show you why I love this thing, and I'm going to give you a 20% discount along with a chance to win an eye tracker, multitudes of other games, hardware gaming peripherals, and even some in-game items and ships up until September 11th for Tobii's big celebration that's currently going on. My goal is to give you a realistic look at how eye tracking can be useful in both everyday life and gaming, with comparison shots and plenty of in-game footage. Thank you for coming to my Tomato Talk. Now for this video, I'm going to use shots with my eyesight indicator on and off to give you a sense of how the device actually holds up. Sometimes you'll see shots like this, and sometimes you'll see shots like this, but at all times the eye tracker is going to be on. To jump straight into it, you're going to have a ton of control over how your eye tracker works for you specifically. Think of it like a regular control scheme: DPI, thumbstick sensitivity, specific key bindings. These kinds of adjustments all exist in their own way. Eye tracking can be turned off when seated, when in your mobi-glass, when aiming down sights, when using in-game UI, or it can be turned on for all those things to varying degrees. You're free to choose the experience you want, or leave it all as default, which is pretty much just plug it into USB, download the software, and start playing. One of my favorite settings though is enabling the tracker for your free camera external view, allowing you to get some shots of your ships, characters, and general gameplay looking like this. It essentially gives you a third mode of control over your camera that isn't one of your two hands, and it's incredibly accurate at doing so. It'll lead to you getting shots of your ships and characters that look much better than you would expect in ways that are basically impossible without some form of head or eye tracking. But it's not just immersion this thing's for. When dogfighting in the game, you can use your eyes to lock on to and switch targets. You can use it to achieve missile lock when you're off axis. And you can use it to aim for specific components when in precision mode or scanning targets that are not directly in front of you. And with certain ships that have better visibility in their cockpit, oh man, this thing can help you land more smoothly in first person. We all know this tends to be a problem in Star Citizen. The functionality between the eye tracker and Star Citizen itself goes pretty deep due to it being so widely used throughout the Star Citizen community. And honestly, once you get used to it, I found it can be kind of hard to play without. It's just a really nice convenience, kind of like a good HOTAS. You'll even find little perks here and there, like being able to direct your Atlas tractor beam based on where your eyes are looking, which can make cargo stacking a breeze. But without the right settings, including the ability to quickly disable the tracker, it can be a bit disorienting or even annoying. So you do want to make sure that you have it set up exactly how you like.
Has been delivered to the following location.
You can choose to favor your eye tracking entirely so you don't have to move your head around, as can be seen here on the screen. You can also choose to favor your head tracking only, for a bit more of a natural feel as seen here. Or, like me, you can decide to have your own custom mix of both, allowing the effects to compound a bit when needed. And then there's a setting called Camera Boost, which disables that mix altogether, but dynamically allows the eye tracker to exaggerate your view movements when needed. So if you keep your eyes mostly centered on the screen, but do turn your head slightly, you'll have the normal amount of movement you'd get from the head tracking. But if you want to, say, look over your shoulder while piloting your ship, moving your eyes closer to the edge of the screen and then moving your head will make for a much more exaggerated look, giving you added variability without needing to make your head movements exaggerated 100% of the time. This is useful in a lot of different flight and dogfighting simulators and can come in handy in Star Citizen as well. I prefer the input mix for consistency, as this will take some getting used to, but the choice is appreciated. My favorite thing about using eye tracking over just head tracking is the fact that it can feel very natural, favoring mostly your gaze and using a little bit of your head in either mode.
Enjoy the water.
There's no looking off extremely far to the side of your screen just to try and see something on your side. You just look to the side of your screen as you normally would, and the camera compensates. So I'll set my settings so that when I look at the corner of my screen, I get an extra boost of that look over the shoulder effect. And you can set this to both your ship flight and your FPS experience, because some people just don't like this to function when they're running around on their feet. And then if you don't want it on at all, you can also set a key binding to quickly disable it when needed. Honestly, it can be a bit disorienting when you don't have anything else in your field of view to indicate the direction of your body. So I put my key binding on my mouse button to quickly activate and deactivate it as I'm going throughout the game. Outside of actually using the device, I've had plenty of questions about functionality too. Does it work in the dark? Yes, through infrared sensors, it'll work fine in darkness and with bright lights on. As for wearing glasses, it'll work fine if you need to wear them while you're gaming, but I don't personally wear glasses, so I can't comment on this through personal experience. But I have seen others wearing glasses and it worked fine for them. And as you can see in my own footage here, not only does it work on curved monitors, it actually has a specific mount to use with curved monitors. Now, I lost the adhesives that go to my own, and I can tell you, if you don't have a strong enough adhesive to replace it, it can be an absolute pain to keep cleanly mounted to the bottom of your monitor. You'll also find if you mount your monitor further away or use a TV screen, they do provide a custom-built tripod bracket that you can use to attach your eye tracker to if you need to make a little more space for yourself. But every monitor I've mounted to my actual desk and moved around is never far away enough that that's been a problem. Usually, performance works fine within about 2 meters in my experience. Ultimately, the problems I've had with the device tend to come from poor calibration on my part, even though the calibration process is actually pretty simple. Or it's just not having my settings and key bindings set up correctly, so I kinda get frustrated when I can't do things as I want. There's also the constantly showing infrared lights, which can get annoying to some folks, especially in a dark room. While I don't think you should get the Eye Tracker 5 before making sure your keyboard and mouse setup, or maybe even a HOTAS is optimal for you, this is definitely on my short list of best additions for a game like Star Citizen. Not to mention, it works with a multitude of other games you might not expect. As a leader in the industry with this hardware, the support is pretty top notch, the game selection is constantly growing, and the Discord is readily available for quick help. While I've only used TrackIR once in the past and could certainly tell it has less noticeable latency, thus giving you more immediate feedback to your movements, the combination of head and eye tracking, less intrusive setup and wearing, and additional features like target tracking and Star Citizen have kept me in the Tobii camp for the last few years. That being said, there is a growing number of alternatives coming to the market that you can also check out, and I believe you should before making the big purchase. But I did mention that Tobii also helps with functionality across your whole PC operating system, which I don't believe any of the alternatives do just yet, and I definitely didn't buy it for that reason when I first got it. But I want to give you a quick look at how it can make your PC experience much smoother, similar to how it makes Star Citizen work a little better. If you're gaming on PC, you're probably using Windows. Windows uses Windows Hello for a lot of security purposes. The first way this becomes apparent is when you're just simply logging into your computer. With the eye tracker, you're just logging in with your eyes. It works extremely well and there's basically no friction to the experience. I sometimes try to even trick my computer from getting logged in by eyesight, but it can be pretty fast. Sometimes it'll even have me logged in by the time I've pulled my chair up to the PC. Other times, it won't work until I've sat still like a good boy, but 100% of the time it does get me logged in. This functionality also works for things like website logins if they allow it, password managers if you have one, and purchases across different websites, confirming your credit cards and whatnot. And I can confirm, through rigorous testing, that you can't really fake the thing out with a picture or a recording of your eyes. I assume that comes down to the infrared nature of the actual detection. The biometric matching itself is also handled through Windows Hello's secure system, not by Tobii storing your face or eye scans. And the lack of a webcam on this thing does mean that there's no always recording of your actual environment. The data that gets shared by the tracker, which includes positional, head, and gaze data, as well as calibration profiles, can also be disabled in the software if you prefer as well. There are a few other productivity-linked features like keeping the screen awake and bright while looking at it and then dimming it when not, switching applications using Alt-Tab without needing to repeatedly hit Tab to bring up the software you want, and moving the mouse wherever you're looking. But I only use these sparingly as I don't find them that useful. That last one with the mouse can actually get extremely annoying. Overall, the device does a pretty good job both in and out of games at expanding your productivity and making things feel a little more seamless and smooth without being obtrusive. There's no repetitive setup, nothing to put on your head, and no need to turn the device on or off. It'll just plug into your regular USB port on your PC. While it doesn't work across multiple displays, it does support your main display if you have multiple set up. That's actually something that had me hesitating before I picked one up. My only real downside with this device, in my opinion, is the price. This is an expensive item, and the price has risen over the years. Due to tariff concerns, that price has jumped up again this year to around $339 directly from Tobii, or 279 euros in the land of the euro. With refurbished prices, you can also get something a little more friendly and still get the discount offered today. Like I said though, right now you can get a 20% discount when using the link in the video description. And you do still have the chance to win an eye tracker as well as a bunch of other possibilities any day between now and September 11th for Tobii's anniversary celebration. This includes HOTAS sets, games like Deus Ex, X4, Star Citizen and Kingdom Come Deliverance, or even a Drake Corsair. And if you're looking for more feedback, want to ask some questions, or just see this device in action, I'm always using it whenever I'm live here on the channel or over on Twitch streaming Star Citizen, and you'll even get some more extra giveaway entries from doing that. I would suggest getting all the info you can on such a substantial purchase and its competitors before making the jump, but I do hope that this gave you a good enough look at what you'll be getting into and answered your questions so that you can make a better decision going forward. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. I hope you learned something new in it, and I'll catch you in the next.